Hey everybody, it's Denise here from Vapezilla, and I'm here today because it's cleaning day. So I thought that I would take you guys through my procedures and steps that I go through when I do it to make it easier for you. Let's get started. So I've got a 510 tank system here with the tank already in it. This is a tester unit, so I like to clean them when I'm finished with them. Put that little tank tip, and they're refillable. So I've got a bowl over on the side here that has boiling water in it, and I just soak that. I'm going to actually put a brand new tank on this one, so I'm going to prepare it for next week when I go. So I'm going to start off by taking the atomizer off of the battery. I'm going to set the battery over here because I clean that too, just to keep everything working optimal. So basically there's a little bit of juice that, is left over in there. So what I like to do is grab a Q-tip and go all the way around the edges of the battery or the atomizer where it touches the battery, because this is where it's going to meet the battery and that's where you're going to get all of your power from, right? And then I go inside along the walls. As you can see, there's a little bit of black stuff in there. I just go pretty lightly inside there just to get whatever's left over in there out of there. So, and my preferred way of doing this, I actually buy cans of air. And you can get these at, Canadian Tire or Home Depot, or any computer store has them too, because they're for blowing out keyboards and stuff like that, or your fans and your CPUs and all that stuff. So it's just a regular can of air. And I take the little nozzle thing and I put it on there. Now be careful because this stuff is pretty cold. I mean, if you get it on your skin. And then I just blow it. I give it a good blow. And then out comes the juice. I'm not really sure you can see that either, but there's the juice that's coming out of that. So the leftover juice. And then I'll just let it sit upside down for a few minutes. Try not to get it on your fingers. And then I'll take an alcohol pad. And they're just regular alcohol pads. You can get these at Shoppers or any place like that. And they only come, I think, in 70% because that's all that I can find them in. I'd really love to have them at 90% because then they wouldn't be so much water in them. So I just take off the excess dampness with that, and then I clean the outside of the atomizer where it touches the battery. You're going to find that you actually do get some juice residue on there, so it's good to clean that out with it. And then I take a Q-tip like this and I wrap the alcohol pad around it. Now the alcohol pad's actually not really all that wet now, so it's probably safer to use it on the battery. Batteries are sealed, but still, I don't like to take a chance because who wants to replace their battery 30 times, right? So I just go on the inside of the battery with the alcohol wipe and the Q-tip, and I find that that gets all the extra charring stuff out of there. Not really sure that you can see that because I've got quite a bit of light going in here. So, alright, so that one is done now. Just going to open up the tank refill cartridge. Pop the cap off that. Then I'm going to take my atomizer and puncture a hole. So I'm just going to push it. It's actually easier to do it this way. Just puncture the hole in the bottom of it, of the tank with the atomizer wick. Just like that. Pull it out. Now there'll be a hole in it, so this will make this part easier. So then you just pop off the cap like so. Grab your juice. And then just fill it up. Like that. And you find your little cap. Make sure you hear it snap. Wipe off the outside of it so it's clean. Now that's really clean inside of there now. And it's all dried out and everything, so it's good to go. Now you pop your tank back on there, just like that. Put your battery. Voila! New tank, assembled and cleaned. 510, that is. Okay, now these ones here, they come with these awesome mouthguard pieces. So I just take off the cover, throw that in the water, pop off the tank. I'm going to clean this out, so I'm not going to need it. I'm I'm putting a brand new one in there. Okay. Put that there until I'm ready for it. No, there goes an ambulance. That's never good. Okay, so that's got a little bit of juice in it. So I'm going to make sure that we clean this all out properly. Because as you can see, I don't know if you can see it actually, but hopefully you can. Yeah, look at these awesome little rings that you get from popping your tanks back in. At least with the 510s, because you have to push so hard. Anyhow, it's pretty wet in there, so I'm going to blow it out with a can of air. I'll do it in a different spot so that you guys can see the results. I'm going to grab my can of air, and I'm placing it into the hole in the center. So I'm doing it in this part here, right in the hole. Oh, it's pretty slippery. So I'm just going to give it a couple of seconds, and then I'm going to pull it off. And look at that. So it comes right out. Oops. There we go. So it comes right out. And then I just like roll it around a little bit, try to get it all off of there. Now I'm going to grab a fresh Q-tip, and I'm going to go around the inside of it, around where the wick is. And that's where you're going to pick up lots of extra juice in there. Alright, make sure it's nice and cleaned out. I'm going to grab an alcohol pad. This is just my way. I don't know. You can do it your way, but I find that this is really easy, so it works for me anyway. So, and then I just wrap the alcohol pad around the Q-tip like I did last time. And I'm just going to clean the battery end, where it's going to touch the battery out. And then I'm going to blow it so it dries quick. Because 70% alcohol actually takes a little bit longer to dry. So, just like that. Sorry, I'm not really showing you how I'm doing it here. So I'm not actually using the alcohol inside of the atomizer because that's what you're going to be vaping on. Some people do, but I don't want to vape alcohol, so I just clean it as best I can with a Q-tip, and I find that this is really effective anyways. And then I use the alcohol wipe to do the battery, where it's going to touch the battery end. The atomizer meets the battery. So I do use the alcohol in there to clean that all out. And then here, the battery, so I'm going to take the alcohol, and I am going to clean inside of there, because the juice actually caramelizes inside of your batteries. So you want to make sure that you do this, you know, I do it twice, like every other day I do it, just to keep everything clean so that it doesn't build up in there, because once it starts building up, you're not going to get the same connection that you would when you first start using it. Alright, now it's time to fill up our tank. So I'm going to take the seal off. And make sure you take the seal off, because I've actually heard of some people not taking that off, and I'm guessing when you don't, you're going to be smoking rubber, so vaping rubber, and that's probably not good. So I'm inserting the tank first, because then I don't have to use a syringe to fill it, because now there's already a puncture hole in there. And then I just take my curtain hook, like I showed you previously, And I'm just going to pop that cap right off of there. And now I'm going to take my juice and I'm going to fill it up. Now I've never had any problems with them leaking before, so I fill it up. Fill her up, I say. That's what a tank's for. Joytech, I honestly have never had any of mine leak before, and I fill them right up, so and then you push it in, make sure it's in. Good to go. Hook up your battery just like so. Bada boom, bada bing. Brand new, awesome tester. So that's basically all I have to show you today. So hopefully you got some tips and it's going to be quicker for you to refill and clean your stuff. And have a good day. Happy vaping!